Quarter-final day at Roland-Garros, Tuesday evening in Paris. Welcome to Live at Roland-Garros. Matches completed. Live tennis still very much going on. And here for you is what we have for you on this evening's show. Podoroska stuns Svitolina to make history at Roland-Garros. Team in a battle with Schwartzman for a place in the Final Four. And 12-time champion Nadal is waiting in the wings. It is lovely to have you with us once again. We are with you nightly from 7 o'clock, and I'm glad to say the team is back together. We are all here. Very happy to say Daniela Hensikova, Fabrice Santoro. How has your Tuesday been, Daniela, in Roland-Garros?
Well, it's been windy, but entertaining because, I mean, the matches that are still going on and the ones we've seen has been unbelievable. And, you know, this is what you wait for, the second week of the Slam when all the excitement becomes even bigger.
Fabrice, your day is only just getting started, isn't it?
More or less, you're right, Gigi. It's going to be a long day and a long night because, yeah, we have the show, then I have to do a Nadal. So it's going to be a long evening, but quarterfinal, it's a big day.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And for our moment of the day, we're all looking at something to be the moment of the day. We couldn't look any further than the match that we can hear going on Philippe Chatrier with Dominic Thiem and Diego Schwartzman. And what we've done here, this was a 33-shot rally. We just had to speed up because if you haven't seen anything, and this is the first thing you're seeing, we have seen, Daniela, a lot of this since this match began.
It's pretty much for whoever did not see this match. You just have to watch this rally, and pretty much that's the idea of everything that's been going on and still is going on in this match. And I think Fabrice just wished that everything will be double fast since you have to commentate Rafa match. But it's been an incredible battle from both
Yeah, it's a
guys.
very physical match. We can expect this scenario before because they are both very good on clay. They have both a lot of confidence with recent results. So we could go for 5. We could go for 5 sets.
I think we always felt like that actually whenever we were watching you, that, you know, it can just go for many, many hours, right?
Yeah, yes,
an
you're
enjoyable
right.
5 hours
Yes,
or
exactly.
so. We are actually going to run you through the stories so far of Dominic Thiem, Diego Schwartzman, but not before we have paid a visit to Philippe Chatrier, because Eli, once again, you have the best seat in the house.
Of course I have the best seat. Good evening, everybody. I was always waiting. I thought you were going to forget me or something. Fabrice, I have some good news for you. Dominic Thiem just broke, so he's up 2-love in the second set. So it might not go to a 5th set. They've been on court for 3 hours and 32 minutes, and they've maxed out the capacity of the scoreboard: 7-6, 5-7, 7-6, 2-0. This has had 5 sets written all over it. For the moment, it's on 4, but you never know. And I have my sources from the inside tell me that matches can be launched. There's no limit to what time a match can be launched. So if Rafa Nadal has to start his match at midnight, he will start at midnight, and so will you, Fabrice.
Eli, I think you've just made Fabrice's evening.
Yes, I mean, I would be okay actually to see a 5 set during this meeting because Schwartzman played a very good match. He was just a bit fragile in the big moments, and it's pretty sad for him to be 2-1 down.
And also as a players, I think we both are used to playing matches sometimes after midnight. So physically, obviously, that's going to be very tough for both players to keep going and kind of be awake during the time of the day when you're normally supposed to sleep. So I think for Fabrice, just to commentate and sit and not having to be out there, it's going to be much easier. But I mean, sometimes we don't appreciate as much that physical effort that goes when you have to play after midnight.
Well, I want to stay with the physical effort. We're going to tell the people the story so far of Dominic Thiem, Diego Schwartzman. And the big question ahead of this, Daniela, was would there be anything left in the tank of Dominic Thiem? He's on an 11-match winning streak. He went to 5 sets against Hugo Gaston, and that seemed to be the big question mark.
Yeah, of course. Normally, that would be a huge question mark. But I think, you know, that adrenaline and that confidence levels and also that feeling that he almost forgot what it means to lose, it's helping him to keep going. And it's almost like he's doing everything automatic and he knows exactly what to do on big points. And that saves him actually a lot of energy when you have that confidence and you are almost like on an autopilot. And you, even in the practice sessions, warm-ups, everything's just you do without thinking.
And we all can see that from the end of the first set, Dominic is a bit tired today. He's a bit slower, and you can see between the rallies that he tries to recover, but he will not he will always give his best. It doesn't matter if he's tired or not. Dominic is born like this, and he will try 100%. It's a bit like Rafa Nadal. It doesn't matter if they are 100% or 50%. Just try to win and give everything.
Also, I mean, you will know better than me, playing best of 5 when you are tired. Sometimes that first set, actually, you feel more tired. You take time to warm up your muscles. And in a very strange way, the longer you are on the court, the better you actually feel, right?
You're right. You need to warm up. But now it's gonna be interesting if if Diego Schwartzman is able to come back, because we've seen in the first 3 sets that anything can happen, even with a break up or breakdown. I mean, we had many breaks in this match.
We're looking at the first set here. Diego Schwartzman had not dropped a set to this point coming into this match. He's also, yes, he beat Nadal recently in Rome. He reached his first Masters final, but he is yet to beat a top 5 player at a Grand Slam. He's 1-23 against top 5 opposition. That one is a huge one. It is Nadal. So it's a big test for Schwartzman. But if ever he was going to come into this match in the right frame of mind with the confidence, it is today.
Yeah, definitely so. But, you know, given how well Diego has been playing the last couple of weeks, I think, you know, the times he will be in the quarters and better, it's still a lot in his career. One thing I want to point out, and we just saw that there in that rally, we always talk about his movement and how much he fights, but it's that net game. He's unbelievable doubles player, and he comes in so quick and so fast that sometimes the opponents don't even realize it, and he's already at the net. So it's one part of his game that I think needs more credentials and attention from us.
He has a very good hand, but if Diego loses match, he's going to think about 1 point for many days or many weeks. He was up a set and 5-4. Dominic serving at 15:30, and he missed a shot just behind the net. And this one, if he makes it, give him 2 sets point to go 2 sets to love.
There was a 15-minute, 22-point game in this second set between these two. I mean, Danny, they are going above and beyond out there on Philippe Chatrier.
Oh, absolutely so. And this is where you can see, I mean, both players so tired, taking as much time as possible in between the points. But still, you know, once the rally starts, it's unbelievable where they find all the energy and the power and the speed to move that way around the court.
They've met 5 times on clay. There is 1 win for Diego Schwartzman back in South America. They talk about what good friends they are off court. It's a battlefield out there, and you feel that Diego Schwartzman for the first time has the belief that he can get something out of this contest, but not being able to close out that set, as you pointed out, could prove very difficult for Diego Schwartzman.
Yeah, it could be very difficult, but as Eli just said, Schwartzman was down a break in the 4th, but he broke back. So he's back to 2-1 now, and regarding his confidence and the level Diego is playing since a couple of weeks, you know, when you're able to beat Rafael Nadal on clay, you can walk on court against anybody with a lot of confidence.
And it's not only that you beat Rafa Nadal, but it's that message you send to the locker room, like,
yes,
hey,
right.
I just beat the king of clay, so you better watch out when you play against me on this surface.
He called the trainer. It looks like he's just getting the fingertips, a couple of blisters. He has the white tape on the tips of his fingers, which Nadal also has. The Dominic team just has a little bit time to sit and rest. But this is a mental and a physical battle between these two out there.
And mentally also, because we haven't mentioned the wind. I mean, it is so tough out there. And given how swirly it is, I mean, the rallies we have seen, I mean, who can hit the ball over the net 32 times in these conditions?
And maybe the last point also, we know, I mean, Daniela, that one is a match is very tough physically, and at the end of the match, you get the energy sometimes from the crowd. Because you feel the crowd and said, okay, I want to keep fighting, I want to keep fighting, but the crowd is not there.
Yeah.
So it's even more difficult.
We're going to keep an eye on what takes place on Philippe Chatrier. We'll be crossing back to Eli, but we have had other matches completed. It was due to be quarter-final day today, but 1 4th-round match snuck in. They walked out on Susan Longland last night. It rained. They came off and they walked back out on Philippe Chatrier today. Daniel Collins, the world number 57, taking on the 30th seed Ons Jabeur for a place in the quarter-final. And this was, I think, for me, a very interesting encounter between the screaming Danielle Collins and the type of game that she brings and the contrast of what you get from Ons Jabeur.
Yeah, exactly. It was contrast because you can't go any more different between these two players, and that's why it was such an interesting match to watch. And at the end of the day, I just feel like Daniel wanted it maybe a little bit more and had that confidence. And I think that comes from, the work that she just started with Nico Almagro, because to have someone around that's been in top 10 and knows what it takes, totally understands how she's feeling out there. I mean, that's such a huge addition to her team, and also a sign that, she wants to get to that top 10, and she really means it by what she says. And yeah, I think at the end of the day was just a little bit more confidence from her end.
And the good news, or the bad news, I don't know, is Danielle Collins will play against Sofia Kenin. So I think it's going to be a very noisy match, no?
Well, for Danielle, oh, well, actually, yes, you're right with Sofia. Yeah, yes, good point. Let's keep it there.
Okay, so that's going to be very noisy. And we should say that Collins actually leads Kenin in that head-to-head 3-0. She moves up to 45 in the world, Danielle Collins, for reaching her first Roland-Garros semi-final. As you can see there, she's absolutely delighted. Now to Alina Svitolina. The pressure for Fabrice was on Svitolina. She was the only seed left in the top half. She was the highest seed left, and she was taking on the qualifier, Nadia Podoroska.
Another surprise. And I can't count how many surprises and how many times I was wrong. Thinking on a lady match during the French Open, this one is gonna win, and I was wrong.
Totally right. I think the predictions all of us made in this tournament, it just shows how many surprises we've seen throughout the tournament.
It was Podoroska's 43rd win of 2020 at all levels. These numbers are crazy.
Yes, and it's what we kind of, in a way, we expected that there are not going to be that many favorites after the lockdown, because there was that reset, everyone had to stop. So it's like more, when we thinking of the first tournaments of the year, you don't know, how everyone has done the preseason and training. And I just feel like whoever is winning just keeps on winning, because they have that confidence more than anyone else.
She's the first female qualifier, Fabrice, to qualify for the semi-finals at Roland-Garros.
And I watched almost all the match of Podoroska, and I was very impressed the way she plays, because she can play every shot. She has a good hands when she can play many drop shots, and we know how important drop shots are during this tournament.
And also I think it's a good combination that she's an Argentinian, so she plays a typical clay court game, but she's got that Ukrainian mentality of hard work and discipline. And I think that's where Svitolina knew that this is always going to be a tough opponent because of that mental toughness.
And Fabrice, we always talk about the difference a run like this can make. We were talking before we came on air. So in ranking, she's gone from 131 in the world. Currently, live ranking, she's at 48. And financially, from reaching the semi-finals, she's earned more than she's ever made in her career.
You're right. I mean, she made more money in the past 2 weeks than in all her career, and I think it's going to be a new life for her, a new life on court and off court. And but she's a great player to watch. I like the way she plays tennis. And as Daniela just said, she has a culture, two different culture, and it brings a lot to her game.
She had never won back-to-back matches on the WTA Tour. Now she's won 8 successive, and she's in the semi-finals.
That's the beauty of our sport. Really, anything can happen, as we've seen the last 10 or 11 days. That there are so many beautiful stories. I think that's what keeps tennis entertaining year after year. That people, players come and go, stories change, and there's always something new, something exciting, and that's why it's worth following it all the time.
And we could have 2 qualifiers through to the Final Four with Martina Trevisan. She will come on court at some point this evening, we assume, if Dominic Thiem and Diego Schwartzman do finish their match. And then we've still got Rafa Nadal against Yannick Sinner. We'll be crossing back to Eli a little bit later, but now it is time for Eye of Daniela. When you sent a message about this today, we all went, yes, that is great.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to talk about this because it's close to my heart. I was born in the mountains as well. And so the point I would love to make here today is that, and I don't know if Fabrice, you're going to agree with me, how important it is to do different sports, especially at the young age for the players, not be specific just on tennis. And we saw it big time with Yannick Noah. Before he started to be really serious about his tennis, first he was skiing. That's the reason why even for a tall guy, he is so balanced. He's got so much power in that lower body. He's so quick to move, even for a tall guy, and he's not the only one. Karin Knapp was another very successful tennis player prior skier as well. Novak Djokovic, obviously. Martina Hingis used to train during the preseason, ski in the morning, play tennis in the afternoon. Myself as well. It's not only, the skiing, but you are in the altitude, so it's great for your endurance as well. And I think it just prepares your muscles for then to be ready to face anything in tennis, because tennis physically is such a complex sport that every part of your body has to be working big time. And I mean, looking at this, this is serious stuff. Incredible.
I mean, he was
very
a champion
impressed.
at a very young age, had to make that decision, Fabrice. Do I stick with skiing or do I continue with tennis?
Well, it's a tough one, but he did a good choice, I think. And it's a pleasure for tennis to see Yannick in the top of the ranking now, or very soon in the top 10, I think. And me, as a kid, I was not, I couldn't ski. Because my coach said, no, you play tennis, don't go to the mountain, don't ski, it's dangerous for your sport. And when I look at you, Daniela, Novak, and all those champions, I said, maybe I should have done.
I think it's also important when you do. When you start at a very young age, I think both Novak, Yannick, myself, we started around the age of 3 or 4. So we actually started skiing before starting to play tennis. So you have that confidence and kind of belief. I mean, obviously, you never know what can happen, and you try to go to places where there are not so many people. But, it's also, especially mentally, gives you so much freedom. You are, at least to me, it was the time where I was able to really turn off my tennis mind. And, when you are around the mountains, you forget everything. And literally, when you come back down, you just have so much air in your lungs that you feel like you can keep going on forever.
Mountains are fantastic. Even now, after tennis, I need the mountains. And actually, the day after the French Open, I go in the mountains.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Straight away?
Straight away. On Monday 12th, I go there, and Monday 12th at night, I will sleep in the mountains.
He needs to come down after...
In a tent on a mountain?
I like it a lot.
Right, okay.
He needs to come down after being with the two of us. So he goes for 2 weeks.
Sits in a tent on a mountain. There you go. That is what Fabrice is doing next Monday. You're with live at Roland-Garros. It is time now to see what is going on in the world of social media. Alex, I think maybe a task for you should be to find a picture of Fabrice on his mountain in his tent.
First Eiffel Towers, and now this. This
I like to set you challenges.
Exactly. It's meant to be me with the challenges, but I'll see what I can do. Thank you, Gigi. Good evening, everyone. I hope you've got the coffee on standby for a very late finish here tonight. But here's what's served up on social media so far. First up, I have disappointed Gigi with no Eiffel Tower shots in the last few days. So here's one from Rafa Nadal, including some pretty nifty artwork from fans on posters around Paris. The 12th-time champion is, of course, up against Yannick Sinner soon, or kind of soon. And then Dominic Thiem is still dueling with Diego Schwartzman, but I've never seen this from the US Open champion. A double-handed backhand. His usual single-hander is a work of art. Thiem really is trying everything to clinch his semi-final spot. And finally, I love this tweet. Dreams can come true, and they are in Paris. One of these 3 women will reach their first Grand Slam final. Iga Swiatek, Argentine qualifier Nadia Podoroska, or Italian qualifier Martina Trevisan. So, back in the studio, who has the best chance of making that final? All yours, Gigi.
Thank you very much, Alex. Fabrice, I will start with you for this one.
It's not ladies first tonight, no?
I'm going to start with you.
Okay, I pick up Swiatek. If she's strong mentally, for me, she's the best player.
I mean, I just want to say that's those players we predicted right from the start.
Yeah, I was sure.
I've changed my prediction so many times.
Yes, exactly. No, I do actually agree with Fabrice that I love Swiatek's game. She's got it all, so much talent. She really thinks out there big time. She's able to adjust her game to everything that comes at her.
But Daniela, she's going to start in a few minutes or hours. She's going to start a new tournament. After beating Alep, favorite to go in the final, it's something completely different. Do you think she slept well yesterday, or she could be under pressure?
Yeah, I think important for her is not to think that, just to keep going with, the way she's been playing in the last couple of matches, not to have any expectations, because as we both know, that's what happens when you beat Simona Halep. Suddenly you feel like, you should be going all the way. And it's really hard then to accept that maybe she might not be playing that way, because obviously in that match she had nothing to lose, especially given how badly she lost to her the year before. So now it's suddenly all the expectations on your shoulders, and that changes up completely the momentum. So, mentally, she must just forget actually what happened against Simona. Yes, try to keep that confidence, but it's a new day, new match, and everything can happen really.
To find out when we think that she might be coming on court, and there are no definites here, let's go back to Philippe Chatrier and check in with Diego Schwartzman, Dominic Thiem, and Eli.
Well, last time we spoke, it was 2-love for Dominic Thiem. It's now 3-2 Diego Schwartzman and serving. The Argentine has just won the last 3 games. He has a very specific strategy. In the last game, he came to the net 3 out of 4 points possible. He did serve and volley. He's trying to shorten the points. He's coming in a lot. And so it's interesting because Dominic Thiem it's not at all the match against Hugo Gaston. A lot less drop shots. Dominic Thiem also lifted the intensity. He would very much like to close on this 4th set, so he's hitting the ball, striking the ball a lot harder. It's coming in with intensity. The problem is Diego Schwartzman is so quick and is able to be so quickly at the place where the impact's going to be, and he's there, he prepares, and he takes the ball very, very low off the bounce, and he catches Dominic Thiem off-footed, and he is able to move the Austrian quicker. So is a real strategy, a real chess game going on right now on the court. And I think if Schwartzman is able to hold serve, he's gonna, he can take a serious advantage. The wind, the cold, those are stuff that it's happening. It's cold out here. It's windy. This is very, very tough match going on between these 2 guys who are buddies, by the way, and hopefully will still be at the end of the match.
Eli, thank you very much for now. So this one could have a way to run, which brings me, Daniela, to the question. You're Iga Swiatek, you're Martina Trevisan. How are you dealing with this delay? 1 minute, Thiem is a breakup, and maybe you're going to be on it now. Next minute, Schwartzman's leading, and it could be another set. So what are you doing?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Gigi, and we both know we've been in that situation mentally. It's so tough. One of those things we do not miss, having to wait for such a long match, especially here in Roland-Garros, like you said. Especially the worst is when a player is 2 sets to love up, because you feel like, okay, you're close, you better start warming up. And also, it's not only when you warm up, but then when do you eat? Because, you might take a lunch or late or early dinner. Suddenly, we are talking about maybe going out there at 9, 10 p.m. So everything you have to consider, trying to save the energy, not move around too much. So, yeah, it's tough mentally.
Very difficult. And then there is Jannik Sinner against Rafa Nadal following that match. But again, we have a roof, so if there's a turn for worse with the weather, we have got it covered. Right, you have been voting in your thousands for today's question of the day. Will it be another Djokovic-Nadal final at Roland-Garros this year? I don't know which way either of you 2 are going. Fabrice, shall I start with you on this one?
Yes.
Yes, I'll start with you, or yes, it will be?
Yes, we'll have the same final.
Because of what you're seeing with Schwartzman and Thiem, or something else from what you've seen?
For many reasons.
Okay.
I think Thiem is not at his best. He's fighting so hard because he has a lot of character, but he will not have enough energy to beat Rafa if he qualified today. And I don't think Schwartzman will beat Rafa again. And on the top of the draw, I think Khachanov played a very good match yesterday, very solid, more or less the best he can do, and still he didn't win a set against Novak. So we'll have the same final. Daniela?
Well, do you give me another choice? But I know it's against the rules, but I have to agree with that. I mean, I think there is no other way around it. Maybe before this match that is just still going on, I would have said, let's not forget Dominic. And I would make my point that, okay, it can be a Dominic-Novak final, but I think whoever gets through that, physically, they're just going to be in such a deficit playing against Rafa. And obviously on the other side, Novak is the clear favorite.
And I think this match going, very long match, could go for 1.5 more hours. It's a good and a bad news for Rafa. Good because those 2 players will be very tired at the end of the match and not enough energy maybe to play against Rafa. And bad, of course, because he's going to walk on the court at 11 p.m. tonight.
But what if Jannik Sinner takes Nadal to 5-6 hours and 5 sets? Does that change anything? And Dominic Thiem manages to get through? Because you said earlier that with Dominic Thiem, it's the adrenaline. You get that first set out the way and you almost forget about the fatigue.
Well, if we are talking about the tired Rafa and tired Dominic, I still go with tired Rafa because it's just his territory. It's Roland-Garros. So just for that fact, even if they're both can't walk on the court, it's still Rafa to me.
And I think Sinner is not going to play the same game as Thiem or Schwartzman. He's going to play very short points. So the match, even if it's like 4 or 5 sets, which I don't think, is going to be a shorter match. And I think Sinner will play more or less like Soderling did in 2009. He's going to try to serve big and bomb on the forehand side. And I don't want to talk to you from the baseline. I'm not here to talk to you from the baseline.
We've got agreement in the studio, which is quite a strange thing. We have also been getting the players' views on this. Do they think it will be a Djokovic-Nadal final at Roland-Garros in 2020?
Well, I know that Rafa is unbelievable on clay court, and he's playing a young, talented player today. So I don't know how that's gonna go. But Rafa is still Rafa on the clay. I mean, I'm hoping to see Tsitsipas go far here. I'm also really supporting him anywhere. So yeah, I think it could go like Nadal Djokovic, but I always hope that Tsitsipas goes far here.
No. For me, no. Diego Schwartzman is going to be in the finals.
And he might well be, because he's 4-2 up in the fourth set against Dominic Thiem. Right, people have been voting, so let's see if they agree with yourself and Fabrice, or they have gone the other way altogether. You can vote on a question. Yes, 71% believe and agree with you both.
So what's happening now? Who gets the point?
Well, what we've done is... well, we've given it to Daniela.
Wait, I'm set in a break up already.
You said on a break. Yeah. Every time I miss a show, I lose like 3 points.
So it's like a yellow card.
Yeah,
it's
like
a
yellow card.
Or a code violation.
I know the rules now.
Yeah.
I don't move, I sleep here.
You're going to be at the desk now
We'll
for
let
the next
you go
24
for
hours.
Nadal Sinner, and then you come straight back.
Yes,
Is that okay?
sure.
Okay, that's fine. So there we go. Daniela's got a comfortable lead here, 7-3. And we'll have another question of the day. We'll think of one, we'll record it this evening, and you can vote on it tomorrow via the social media channels. Time to hear from some more of the players. It's our Keeping Busy section, and you might pick up some tips here on what they do at home or in the hotel when they can't make it to the gym.
So here we go.
No, nothing, zero.
No exercise in the room?
In the room, no.
No.
I don't train in my room because I have a great facility here, but if I have to, I do it.
What type of exercise in the room is done? What can you do?
I mean, I think in the room you can always do some abdominals, some stretching, some body weight exercise.
Yeah, I do yoga.
Is that a big thing for you?
Yeah, I do that every day.
No, we're still allowed to go to the gym and practice on the court, so all the physical work we do in the gym, either in the hotel or on the tennis courts.
There you go. They find a way to get it done. Maybe a little bit of yoga in the room. Eli, have you ever done any yoga in your room, or have you ever done any yoga? Full stop?
Yeah. Yes, I have. I do the sun salutations all the time. There you go. That was my yoga of the day.
That's lovely.
These guys are still on court, as you know, 3 hours and 57 minutes. Diego Schwartzman up 4-3 and a break still in this fourth set. Let's remember that coming into this match, Dominic Thiem had over 10 hours of play already versus over 8 hours for Diego Schwartzman. So should Dominic Thiem get this win, he would, let's say the match would take close to 5 hours, say 5 hours for the sake of argument, 15 hours coming into Rafa Nadal, who I don't remember, but I think he's like 7 or 8 hours up to now. So the difference is huge. I just want to also mention something, that the crowd is here. The maximum capacity crowd for this stadium in this situation is here. Again, everybody very well behaved, but everybody's cold and everybody is staying until the end. Everybody wants to see this game, and then they're going to stay for more. Everybody is so happy to have tennis here in Paris. So big up to the crowd who is cold, but who is cheering on the players.
Thank you, Eli. You don't look cold. Enjoy the rest of the match. I felt like you wanted to say something.
No, I just want to say it because this match is crazy, and I think it's going to be even more crazy in the next hour. Yeah. And we talked earlier about the following matches and how difficult is our sport. You know, when the Trevisan and Swiatek wake up this morning, they said, we're going to play fourth match after 11, after 2 ladies single, 1 man single. We're going to play around 3:30. We may play 3:34, and finally they will play at 9. So it's another day coming for them, and of course for Rafa Nadal after.
Well, we've got the schedule for tomorrow. This is a schedule as it is. I don't know, maybe things will change if these guys go on and on. Because remember, if they get to a deciding set, there is no tie break. They will just go on and on. But as things stand, this is how things look. It's just quarterfinals. Today we had that round of 16 in there. Daniela, pick your match of the day from the 4 there.
I think I'm really looking forward to the first one, Petra Kvitova against Siegemund, because, we don't really talk enough, I think, about Petra. And to me, she's surely becoming my favorite. But hey, what do we know with the prediction these days? But definitely, I'm a huge fan of her game.
And we spoke yesterday, Fabrice, about the rematch of the Hamburg final.
And I don't pick up this one. Sorry, Gigi.
You're not taking
No,
Rublev Tsitsipas?
I'm taking the revanche of New York.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because of scenario in New York between Novak Djokovic and Pablo Carreño Busta, the only guy who beat Novak this year. I pick up this one.
Okay, so we've all got a different match. Daniela, have a lovely evening because you're now free to go. Fabrice, you're going to just stay here.
Yeah.
Basically.
We'll see you in the morning when
Just
you're
sat like
coming
that.
off the
It's
court.
okay.
holding your microphone. But thank you very much for
Thank
both
you.
being here. It's
Pleasure.
been another lovely evening. And don't forget, the action continues. So you've got the website, you've got the app, and you've got Radio Roland-Garros that will be with you till the very final ball. I'm going to head off there very soon. But thank you once again for your company. Make sure you join us again tomorrow night as we complete the semi-final lineup on Live at Roland-Garros.
À demain.